Stephen A.
Yes.
Do you still have Philly winning the division?
Yes. Yes, I do. I don't like the way they're looking. Please don't get me wrong. I'm not blind. I'm not sold on the Philadelphia Eagles from the standpoint that, they look like a shell of themselves compared to what they looked like last year. I get it. Defensively, they've had issues. I was very concerned when they were down 19-3 yesterday, no question about it. Little did I know that Pat Shermer would make it so easy for me. He'd forget to give Saquon Barkley the ball in the second half. He'd forget Odell Beckham Jr. altogether. You know what I'm saying? I didn't realize that was going to happen.
Except when Odell's in triple coverage.
That's right.
Saquon's open.
Except for when, exactly. So I didn't realize those things were going to happen. But then again, you take the victories that you could take. The Eagles needed to get over the hump. I love the fact that Malcolm Jenkins had an interception. He needed that since he called the team out. Can't call a team out and then get burnt and looking everywhere else in coverage. You got to show up, all right? He did that. So I'm very, very proud of that. At the end of the day, they discovered a little running game with Adams as well. The offensive line played relatively well in the second half. The defense kept it simple. They basically frustrated the living hell out of Odell Beckham Jr. because they made Eli Manning look in a different direction, knowing that Pat Shermer probably wouldn't figure it out, which he didn't. And as a result, they won a game. But in the end, what it comes down to is this. It's the NFC East. I'm not trying to sit up there and bloviate about the Eagles like there's something special. I'm talking about the NFC East not being that special.
Yeah. Well,
and
look,
the fact that
the
NFC
East,
there we
the
go.
NFC East gives anyone a chance,
Process
even the
of
Giants
elimination.
yesterday. But, guys, the Giants are a terrible team. They squeaked by two bad teams recently, and people got their hopes up. And
including me.
Right. And
they could have won yesterday, Max.
No,
If
ultimately,
they call that pass interference on Odell Beckham.
No, ultimately they couldn't have won because their quarterback is the worst starting quarterback in football, kind of by far. Like, that was such a stupid throw. A veteran quarterback, that's inexcusable. Like, I understand he's not accurate. I understand he doesn't have arm strength. I understand he's immobile. You at least have to not make the dumbest decision you could possibly make on the field. Saquon Barkley open, no one within 10 or 15 yards. Even when a guy's 1 yard from him, it's a touchdown. Well, you only get a field goal. You're probably going to get a touchdown out of that play anyway. You throw to Odell soft zone, in triple coverage. It's idiotic. Okay, the Eagles aren't good. They squeak by a bad Giants team who handed them the game. Guys, this is not the same Eagles from last year, period. The Super Bowl hangover was real. Also, let me tell you something. Peterson has to show that it was not all Frank Reich, right? Like, you got to show when you lose your coordinator. Bill Parcells a great coach. No one disputes it. But without Bill Belichick, it wasn't quite the same, right? It turned out Belichick was really, really, really good. Mm-hmm. Let's see what Peterson can do without his coordinator, right? Like, let's see, because it has not been the same this year. They're down. And by the way, even with all that, what I just said about the Giants, if it wasn't for the worst run defense maybe you will ever see, then the Eagles don't win the game yesterday. Like, they're just not good, guys. They still have to go to the Rams. They still got 2 games against Washington. Figure they split those. They got the Cowboys, but it's on the road.
I think they beat the Cowboys, and I think they win at least one against the Redskins.
They've packed it in. The Eagles have packed it in.
They're not packed in. They're only one game out. They're only one game out, and they play the Redskins and the Cowboys in 3 of those games. That's why I like.
They tried to lose to the Giants.
I just don't think they're playing good football right now. And I feel like in this juncture of the season, you're going into kind of playoff mode. You're trying to get your team together, figuring out who you have, and you should be playing at a high level right now going into January, actually going into December and then into January. Mm-hmm. If you see yourself winning the division and going into the playoffs, they're just not playing a good brand of football right now. And the team with the most momentum in the NFC East right now, unfortunately, I hate to say it, is the Cowboys.
Yeah, no question.
I mean, they're playing well. They got big plays all over the field.
I totally agree with you, which makes it even sweeter what's going to happen to them Thursday.
I actually do think the Cowboys make the playoffs. I think the Cowboys win the division.
Win Thursday.
I don't think they do anything in the playoffs, obviously, but I do think the Cowboys have the most momentum and look the best in the NFC East, which is a pretty poor division going in to make the playoffs.